Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let Me Know podcast, the podcast where we somehow support the Flyers, who lost 4-0 yesterday in Game 7 and are now eliminated from the playoffs. My name is Jay.
And I'm Vilnius. Did they really do that poorly?
Yes, they did that poorly. We have lost 4-0 to the Islanders twice in the same series. I want to cry.
Yeah. Go Flyers!
Go Flyers, baby. I told my family that I was going to take my jersey off when we were eliminated from the playoffs, and we were promptly eliminated from the playoffs. So I had a lot of faith that we would actually be able to do something, but
Once again, Philly teams disappoint.
the Philly teams don't always disappoint, except like mostly. So, so that's generally we only disappoint most of the time. I mean, that's not too much, right?
It does make it so that when they actually do good, though, it's incredibly exciting. Like when we won the Super Bowl and,
That
they
was
canceled
very
school
exciting.
because of how hype it was.
Very exciting. We got a Thursday off, which was pretty damn hot, baby. Pretty hot. But yeah, the Flyers are out of the playoffs because we flew and we crashed. We flew and then we had engine failure, and it was the island that really did us in.
The island really got you.
Well, the Islanders, right? Yeah, I mean the island. It was kind of the island's fault. I mean, listen, dude, we got through some capitals. We got past the United States, right? We got past some penguins that were really menacing. We got past some really menacing bears up in the sky too, dude. Oh my god, those are terrifying.
The Flying Bears are the worst.
The flying bears, obviously the flying bears. We got past some lightning, which was much harder, because that's generally. And then those scary Canadians came along and tried to take us out, but we managed to squeak past them. And then it was the island. It was really the island's fault. So. And even the people on the island, they threw hockey sticks and pucks at us, and we were like, "All right." so we just kind of crashed and burned.
The first sports game I ever went to in Philadelphia was a Flyers game.
Was it? Who did they play?
The Penguins, I believe.
Yeah. I hope nobody was.
You're gonna have to clean that up after the show.
Yeah, I know, man. It's kind of a problem.
Speaking of the show, let's get on with it, man.
Wait, Wellness, do we have a show? No way, man. You didn't tell me about this.
We got this show. Yeah, I'm recording you, Jay.
Oh, God.
Without your consent.
Oh my God, where are the cameras? Impractical Jokers. Murr bombs an ISIS stronghold.
My favorite episode.
Alright, anyway. Today I want to pose you a question. My question to you is, what's your favorite Disney movie?
Ooh, let's see here. I thought long and hard for maybe a couple of minutes on this, right? And I'm gonna have to go with Bambi.
Bambi? That's also the saddest one. Did you laugh at that, like the dumpling baby?
To be honest, I don't even remember half of the things that happen in that movie, but out of all the Disney movies, I remember that one the most fondly. I feel like it's probably the one I've seen the most as well. Out of the ones I actually remember, I'd say my favorite is probably either A Nightmare Before Christmas or WALL-E.
It's interesting because The Nightmare Before Christmas, I really don't like that movie.
Really? Oh.
Yeah,
How come?
I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, it's just it's too fever dreamy for me.
Oh, I love that. That's the best part about it. That's when it's at its peak. The best part of the movie is the Halloween song.
Oh God, dude, it was too much for me when I used to watch it, right? So I mean, now maybe I'd find it better, but I don't know, man. But WALL-E is a great movie, man. My mom and I went to go see that in theaters probably when I was 4, I guess.
Yeah. Would that have been back when Pixar was still not owned by Disney? Or was Pixar always owned by
I
Disney?
think Pixar has always been owned by Disney because their first movie was what? It was Toy Story in '97.
Something like that.
I think I think Pixar has always been a subsidiary of Disney, but I'm not 100% sure.
Huh.
Do you have a is Wally a Pixar movie? I for some
It
reason don't
is,
remember.
yes.
Do you have any other favorite Pixar movies?
They also made A Bug's Life, right? Pixar?
Yeah, they did make A Bug's Life, which by the way, I feel
That's a
like
good
I
one.
remember that being a decent movie. Like, when I think of a quintessential Pixar movie, I think of Cars, I think of Up, I think of Ratatouille,
Mm
I think of The Incredibles, and I always forget A Bug's Life exists. And
hmm.
actually, it's the second Pixar movie though,
Oh, I didn't know that. I
the
will say,
second one
though,
ever.
I forgot. I did not think of those movies first, but most of the ones you listed, I like more than A Bug's Life. Uh, the only Pixar movies that I really tend to actually dislike are like Inside Out, Monsters Inc., and kind of The Incredibles. I don't hold Incredibles in a similar regard to a lot of other Pixar movies. But
I heard like the good.
Ratatouille
Oh
maybe is
God, I love
actually my
Ratatouille.
favorite movie out of the Pixar catalog now that I
I
think
love
about it.
Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Ratatouille. Oh my God, wait! I just watched Toy Story 4. I just realized. All right, so I was just telling Vilnius, I've watched 74 Disney movies.
Mm-hmm. Disney
Like,
has made quite a lot, and you have seen quite a number of them.
yeah, I mean, Disney, I think, has made a total of like 300 movies, but like, that's a lot of those were in the between the 40s and, now. Like, a lot of, they make a
Yeah.
lot of live action stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like, Remember the Titans is a Disney movie.
Is that the football one where the dude breaks his leg at the end?
Well, in the car crash. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that movie. That's a great movie.
But it's also about remember because there's all the prejudice between the African American and white
Mm-hmm.
players. It's
Yes, yes.
isn't it? Where is it? It's in the South, right? When they start building up the camaraderie, like, and they all become like best friends, it made me so happy. I've watched it, I think, twice for class,
Mm,
and dude, that movie makes me so happy every time I watch it. Except for the end, obviously, when the guy gets T-boned and whatever.
yeah.
That guy in real life actually died in a car crash again in the
Oh, a
'90s or
second
something.
one? Oh
Yeah,
no,
like 20 years
I was
later.
unaware.
Yeah, it's sad, man. But like, I think that movie is a very valuable one to have. I think
Mm-hmm.
it has a nice message. Um,
Yes.
and to boot has like that sporty thing and all that and team playing.
Yes, yes.
Speaking of school Disney movies, have you watched Tuck Everlasting?
I have not. Which one is that?
Okay, so Tuck Everlasting. Well, so Tuck Everlasting was a book that we read in fifth grade. So before you got there.
Yes, before I went to school with you, yeah.
So Tuck Everlasting was about this girl that met a family of I think two sons and their father that are immortal because of this. I don't know if they literally found the fountain of youth or whatever, or it's just like a concoction they made. I don't remember, dude. It's been 7 years since I've read it. I think it was the first book we read in fifth grade. Dude, I have horrible memories of that book. Oh my god. It was just like it was so whenever I think of that book, I just picture uncomfortably hot, like and muggy. For some reason. That's what I picture every time I
Huh.
think of that book. I'm like, wow, that book has a very hot and muggy vibe. I don't know why, but um and then the movie is weird. Like, why did the movie have to exist? Actually, is it was my main question.
Huh.
I don't know.
Is it an animated movie or?
No, no, it's a live action movie. And
Hmm.
so when you're portraying such a weird story, but also live action, it just felt so uncomfortable for me. Like,
Hmm.
ah,
So I haven't actually, I think, seen that many live action Disney movies that I can even remember. Most of the ones I remember are just like the really dumb. ones like Air Bud and High School Musical, G-Force, those ones.
GeForce.
You watch any of those?
I have watched High School Musical. Okay, fine. Well, those were made for. Were those? Those weren't theater though. Those were made for TV,
They were
weren't
made for
they?
TV, I think. Or well, no, Air Bud and G-Force were in theaters,
No,
but
I've watched Airbud, so I guess I'm at 74 Disney movies. I have definitely. I think I watched Snow Dogs too. I have a sneaking suspicion I watched Snow Dogs.
I watched several of the Air Bud movies. All of these like superhero animal movies where like the animal sidekick is cool and all, they're all the exact same.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
And then, they got non-Disney movies like Alvin and the Chipmunks that are somewhat similar, and the Bill Murray Garfield movies, all of which are terrible.
um, I do not think I've watched that many Garfield movies, but like, yeah, man, I don't know about like Garfield is just a weird character. I don't like Garfield at all. Why does he like lasagna so much? Why does
What?
he like lasagna so much? Like,
Cats
stop
love
it.
lasagna, bro. You ever
Stop
have
it.
a cat? Always lunging for the lasagna.
Ah, yes, Toby's family makes so much damn lasagna, dude. They can't stop making lasagna.
Where did that come from? Just they have cats?
Toby's got 2 cats. I mean, I don't think Toby has ever not eaten lasagna for a meal in his life. We should probably
Breakfast,
go
lunch,
help
and
him.
dinner, all lasagna.
Guys,
Uh,
his address will be in the description if you want to go help him out with the lasagna. They have so
yeah,
much
we'll
lasagna in the
link
fridge.
his PayPal as well.
His PayPal, so you can pay him for the lasagna. Just as a courtesy, it's a pay what's fair system.
Did you, Jay, ever watch not Disney movie? They're not Disney movies, but did you ever watch the Smurf live action movies where it was the poorly
Yes, I
3D
did.
animated Smurfs? Those are terrible.
It was horrendously mediocre until the battle scene, and then in my 9-year-old mind got excited. You
Are
know,
there
I
any
was like,
good movies in
"Whoa!"
that formula? Like they got more recently. There's Hop and there's Sonic, both of which were not good.
Well, we've
Uh,
already established off podcast that Hop was a horribly racist movie that had lots of innuendos. Um, it was
I
pretty
don't know where
intense.
Jay has gathered this information from.
I just know it. You know, it's just one of those
To
things.
be fair, it has been a while since I've seen Hop. I may have forgotten.
You may have forgotten. You forgot about how
Uh,
horrible the Easter Island references were. They were like, "Oh my God, Easter Island! We should be racist to them," and 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 they were like,
but
"Oh my God, rabbits!" More like they came up with a slur. It's a really horrible slur. It's
yeah, you can't say that
rabitos.
here, Jay.
Rabitos. They're like,
Gonna
"Yo,
have to censor that one.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Of course, for the rabbits." I can put it in the description though if you were looking to figure out what the slur was for rabbits.
Heavy
Um,
advertising of the description here. Speaking of the Easter Islands, though, was A Night at the Museum a Disney movie?
I don't think so, man. Yo, that is another one. That is another one of the Fever Dream movies. That's another one of the Fever Dream
How?
movies for me.
That one's not that fever dreamy. I love that movie.
Well, the Easter Island statue talks. I like the little soldier guys.
Yeah.
Those are kind of fun.
Dum dum, give me gum gum. That's all he says, bro.
Yes, exactly. Dum dum, give me gum gum. And that's weird. That is very weird. And then Amelia Earhart just dies.
Oh yeah.
She just kind of dies, at the end there.
It's as they say, art imitates life. Wait, actually, that is not what they say. It's the opposite of what they say. Never mind.
Yeah.
Jay, though, you asked me, but
Yeah.
you asked me what my favorite Disney movie was, but what is yours?
What is my favorite Disney movie? Well, that's a good question because I actually did not think of the answer to that question. Even though I asked you the question myself. So
Do you have a least favorite
I
then?
so it's between Tuck Everlasting, James and the Giant Peach, and
Oh,
out
I
of the ones
forgot
I've
about
watched,
that
and
movie.
Tomorrowland. And maybe The Nightmare Before Christmas, I put that down as something that I notably did not enjoy.
Ugh, heartless.
I I
James and the Giant Peach, I remember nothing about, but I have
I
seen.
gotta say there were a lot of movies that were letdowns for me though. Um,
Mm.
I think. Well, I didn't love 101 Dalmatians, but that's kind of like a classic one. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I think a lot of people like.
You dislike 101 Dalmatians?
I mean, I don't really like Cruella de Vil. Like that bothered me when I was little. I was like, ugh,
Well,
ugh,
that's the point. She's a bad guy.
Yeah,
She's the
but
villain.
I was
That's
small
that's the
boy.
point.
Um, A Bug's Life, like you said, is good, but I've only watched it once, so I don't really remember a ton about it. Like I remember little bits. I do not like Toy
Mm.
Story 3 at all.
I have only seen Toy Story 1.
I hated the characters in that movie. I hated that purple bear. Did not enjoy it, and I've watched it like 4 times. Hannah Montana the movie is not something that ever needed to be watched by my eyes.
I
Um,
did not know that existed. What was that about? Was it just a longer episode of the show?
Essentially, that's what it was. Beverly Hills Chihuahua is a movie that does not need to exist. Monsters University was a letdown. Cars 2, I don't even know what they were going for. Um,
Has there ever been a good Pixar sequel movie?
yes, I think Cars 3 was good. I
I
think
did not
Cars,
watch that
I
one.
think Cars 3 was good. I think that was decent. Toy Story 2 is fine. Toy Story 4. See, I feel like Toy Story 3 and 4 just became this nightmarish evil clan against all the good characters. Dude,
Oh,
some of the characters in Toy Story 4 are like nightmare fuel. There's a
what is the Spork guy like? What's he about?
I can't remember if he's good or bad. I don't know, man. Dude, they have these terrifying ventriloquist dolls, right? That are
Oh,
basically
that's
these
cool.
drones. Who are they trying to save? Are they trying to save Forky maybe? He's the fork guy. Oh no, they're trying to save Bo Peep in this toy store. And there are these ventriloquist dolls on patrol everywhere. They're terrifying, like unnecessarily terrifying. And that's like I think that's 25 to 30 minutes of the movie. I did not enjoy it at all.
I
Uh,
assume they're supposed to be terrifying if, once again, they're the
yeah, I
bad
know,
guys, right?
but like the same thing happened with Toy Story 3, where like it was like, oh, they're all nice at the beginning, and then they're just horrible. But this time, they were all kind of nice, or they were never really like as nice as at the beginning of Toy Story 3. I don't know. I just didn't like the premise of the movie. I feel like it's getting old. I like
Yeah, I do agree. I don't understand how they dragged it out to 4.
if a Toy Story 5 came out, I wouldn't be excited. I wasn't excited for Toy Story 4. I mean, Toy Story 3, to be fair, came out like 9 years earlier, so they took time. It's slow, but still. Uh,
Yeah.
Cars 2 was like, what are you even doing? Like, what is going on here? Why do they have weapons? I mean, why
Oh,
is
I,
Mater a
I,
superhero? Like, what is going on?
what?
Like, exactly,
I
villains.
did not watch that movie. Please explain the premise to me.
Basically, there's a large scandal with an oil company that basically made oil to fail the cars, like specifically fail the cars that were in the International World Cup of Racing. And um, basically, Mater becomes a superhero trying to take him down. Lightning meets like this spy car. I don't remember what his name was. I can figure it out. But like, it's just like, what is going on? I it was it's Finn McMissile.
Finn McMissile. That's a good
Um,
name, though. That's a plus.
he's a British spy car, and it was just like, ugh, I don't like this. I don't know. I think you gotta watch it and see. Like it's
It
just
sounds like something I want to watch. It sounds terrible.
yeah, I know, but like if you want to just
Yeah.
see a strange Pixar movie, like Cars 2 is the one. I would say Cars 2 is probably I've heard the Good Dinosaur is kind of meh, but I don't know that for sure. So I'd say
That one had a very disappointing trailer The trailer starts out with all these silhouetted dinosaurs, and you're expecting it to be like, I don't know, something more than what it is, because it's just kind of like a very cheery looking, very kind of stereotypical cartoon design. And with the silhouetted dinosaurs, you're like, oh, is it going to be something cool looking? But in the end, it's the same as everything.
It's nothing crazy. Oh, also, I think Finding Dory was very meh. Have you watched it?
I did not watch that one.
All right, I have a feeling that
Finding
that was not
Nemo,
one.
I have probably watched like at least 10 times though. You were mentioning movies that you watch in school. Back when I went to elementary school, we had a Spanish class. And the way we would do the Spanish class is we would just watch Pixar movies in Spanish. And we must have watched Finding Nemo like 4 times.
Kind of like in
And
French when we watch Ratatouille, but not in French.
that was funny. We the class just kept extending the view time of Ratatouille by going back to the scene that we were at the day before. We went like a week of just watching the same scene every day. Uh, that was great. We never actually finished the movie because of that. He was like, "It's gone on too long."
Yeah, well, no, I think but then we also at the end of the year started watching it again.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I've watched a lot of Ratatouille in the past, or I mean, it was a couple years ago, but I did watch a lot of
Yeah,
Ratatouille in that time. It was kind of funny.
I'm
Yeah, I
fine
don't
with
know.
that though. Ratatouille is a great movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie.
Speaking about like rat movies, is The Tale of Despero a Disney movie? Did you watch that movie ever?
Desperado or Despero?
Despero.
No, I have no idea. I've never heard of that movie.
Oh,
What's it
that
about?
movie is quite a movie. It is a movie about this mouse who lives in this mouse town, and it's forbidden for the mice to speak with the humans or interact with the humans. And the humans are currently in this kingdom. It's like a medieval times movie. They're preparing for Soup Day, which is a national holiday in celebration of soup. And so this mouse gets entangled in this large mess of interacting with the humans and such, and they have to save Soup Day and whatnot. Uh, that movie is quite epic, bro.
That is interesting. Speaking of mouse movies, have you ever watched the movie Flush or Flushed?
Yeah!
Yeah,
I used to own Flushed. I also owned Tale of Despero.
yeah.
That
What was?
movie, I can't tell you a single thing that happened in it, uh, except that the character designs were terrible, and that the movie was kind of terrifying to me as a
It
child.
was very strange. I do know that I definitely had. You know how there was like a white mouse in a suit or something? I definitely had like a McDonald's toy of that dude. It's not even like we go
Yeah.
to McDonald's a lot, but apparently I had that for whatever reason. So, uh,
Speaking of white mice, have you watched Stuart Little?
I have watched Stuart Little. Yes, that's kind
I
of a
have
cute
not.
movie.
What are those movies about? Are they racing movies?
No, no, it's like him and a kid. Like I think he's a kid's pet or whatever, or family's pet.
Oh,
I
that's
have, you
lame.
know where they play that a lot? They play that a lot at Småland in IKEA.
Oh,
You know,
did
like the
not know
little the
that.
kids area.
Maybe I'll have to visit just to
Uh,
watch Stuart Little.
Feel this. It's meant for kids 10 and below, I think. But
I can pass.
you can pass. That would be funny. I would actually greatly appreciate it. What would be very funny is if we went to IKEA and I was like, "Hey, this little guy needs admission to Smallland," and they were like, um, and that would be it. That would they'd just be like,
You'd have to pretend to be my parent.
yes, this little baby right here, my son, my beautiful son, he needs to go to Smallland, and they'd be like, nah, B, like that's not right, and I'd be like, well, it is. He's my son. I'm going to sue you personally. I'm not going to sue the company. I'm going to sue you. If I could have your
Oh,
first
yeah.
and last name, and your address so I can. That one's just for personal reasons, and my lawyers will be in contact.
Jay, I've lost track of where you're going with this.
Me too. So, isn't that how most of my rambles go though?
Yes, they make no sense by the end.
Exactly.
Uh, Speaking of small children's
Speak.
movies, well, I guess they're not all, but who is your favorite Disney princess?
It has to be. Ooh, it's either Moana or Mulan.
Ah, I would probably say that I agree on the Mulan. Did you watch the Mulan remake, Jay?
No, did you watch it last night? You were saying?
I did watch it last night. Yeah, yeah. It was it was okay. There were some things that I thought it did well, and then some things that I thought it didn't. Uh,
What would you say is your review of it?
it's probably the best of any of the Disney remakes because it actually tries to do something new with the property.
Oh
Like
yeah.
The Lion King 2019 is probably the greatest offender because it's just a reskin of the original
Oh,
movie,
completely. Yeah.
but with worse acting, worse singing, and just overall it looks worse.
Really?
You know,
Okay, listen. I am a strong believer that that was a severely underrated animation job. I think people keep talking
the
about how it was.
2019 remake.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know. Maybe that's just
I
me.
don't think it's a bad looking movie, just in comparison to the original, it looks a million times worse.
I no, but I think they did a good job. Like, I mean, the Jungle Book remake was really good. I think the animation of that, it was really enticing. But people kept saying that the Jungle Book reanimation was a lot better than the Lion King one, which I didn't really understand. I don't know if
There
you.
was a Jungle Book remake?
Yeah, in 2016, I think.
I
Um,
did not watch that.
yeah, it's. I gotta say, it's very cool. Very very cool.
I tend to dislike all of these remakes they've been doing. Like, they remade Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, but live
Oh, you
action,
didn't like the.
and,
Okay, so
several of those things.
yeah, I've got a
I
story
didn't.
about the Cinderella one. Were
We
you?
watched it in school, didn't we? On a
Yeah,
field trip?
yeah. Well, we watched that in Mockingjay Part Two for some reason, which was kind of weird. But
Yeah, that was strange. That was like the least school relevant movie
but
ever.
it was fun, and it wasn't like it was at the end of the year. It was just kind of.
Yeah, it was just in the middle.
Wasn't it just like it was like in March? It wasn't like. I don't think it was.
We watched a ton of movies that year. That was seventh grade. We watched those two movies in theaters. We watched the Malala documentary in theaters as well.
Well, I was in an
And we
Amex
watched
class.
another.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. There was a lot of stuff that went on in that year for movie wise. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the Cinderella remake. I think the thing is, I
Really?
went into it thinking, this is gonna be bad. Cinderella. Like seventh grade. Um, and I think in the end, I was like, whoa, this is like intense, like not badness.
I went into the movie thinking, "Oh, this is going to be a terrible movie," and then I came out the movie thinking I was right.
Vilnius was right all along. The Cinderella people didn't know what they were doing.
Uh, did you watch Maleficent? That is another movie
I
I do
did.
not
I
like.
did watch Maleficent, and it was interesting. I think it was one of those more serious. So I think another good example is of those serious movies.
I don't know if that's a serious movie. I don't know if I would consider it that. It perhaps takes a more of a darker twist
Yes, that's what I
on the
mean.
series, but even then, it's like it's still a children's movie.
It is still a children's movie, but it's one of the darker movies they've made. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
But I
Mm.
do think it kind of is hand in hand with like Into the Woods. Have you watched Into the Woods?
I have not watched Into the
That is an
Woods.
awesome movie. That's a musical movie. I think it came out in 2014. Um, and
Mm.
dude, that movie was really cool. It had like a
Yeah.
huge cast too. I don't really remember exactly who's in it now, but I all I know is I remember James Corden being in it. But they've
Uh,
got like a star-studded cast.
I don't know anyone who was in it, but I know that the guy who directed it is the guy who made the 2017 Ghost in the Shell live action movie,
Oh, did he?
which was not good.
No.
So
What is Ghost in the Shell?
it's like a '80s anime,
Oh, I
and was a
see.
manga first.
Oh, a
Got
live action.
famous with an anime directed by Mamoru Oshii. It's had like 8 different shows or like TV anime adaptations of it as well. It is very highly regarded. I have only watched the live action movie, which I greatly regret because everyone, talks about how awesome it is, and I want to get in on that, but I am very bad about actually bothering to consume the media that I say I'm going to consume.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I don't know, man. I feel like a
But
lot of
yeah,
those live. Okay, so I know we were talking about what was the book about Jesus and Buddha? Why did I forget what it was called?
Saint Young Men.
Saint Young Men. There was a live action movie of that, and it just looked weird. It just looked weird.
I did not know that
I do not
existed.
think that manga and or anime like stuff of the sort, it, really translate in a live action very well all the time.
Yeah,
I just feel like some of that segment of TV shows and movies is you need to have a certain kind of thing, and you need to have a certain kind of director that's like actually gonna keep it as you want it. So I don't know, but actually it is kind of funny. Disney does do some kind of international stuff. You know, I was telling Vilnius about one of my favorite Indian movies, which is called Kubsurat. It's a Khoobsurat. Kubsurat. I have absolutely.
Upsurat.
Oh, it translates to beautiful. Um. So, all right. This is probably one of my favorite. I don't know if it's my favorite Hindi movie I've watched, but it's definitely up there. So it's about this girl named Millie Chakravarti, and she's a physiotherapist. Um, and she works for a cricket team in Kolkata, and her mother wants her to find like a good man to marry because she's like I don't know late 20s and she isn't married yet. So she ends up, she's a good physician, so she ends up getting called by a royal family in Rajasthan, where like there's a king of Rajasthan and he's paralyzed from the waist down. So she's like a 40 something doctor, right? There's been 40 something before her that have had to deal with him because he's like a very stubborn man and doesn't want to try and walk even though he's paralyzed. So she goes and she meets with the queen and the prince, obviously, and obviously they fall in love. Whatever, she gets to know the king and she's successful because Bollywood movie. But it is definitely a cute movie. And I think I like Millie's character a lot, and I didn't know till today that uh, that was actually produced by Disney.
Yeah.
In like collaboration with Anil Kapoor Films, which is such a strange, such a strange combination of it. Like I just like like that's like a crashing of worlds, I guess, in some sense. But it's a great movie, and if you're looking for like a good Hindi movie, like something, it's kind of like a rom com, I guess. That's a good one for sure.
I have yet to watch any Hindi movies. My largest exposure to them is the video about the potato vada that you have shown me.
Batata from Hifazat. Yeah, Hifazat.
Yes,
I
yes.
forgot. My grandmother told me how to properly pronounce it. I think it was Hafazat, not Hifazat. But um,
Jay, I wanted to ask you,
yeah,
do you remember Chicken Little?
I do remember Chicken Little. The sky is falling.
That movie, you were talking about fever dream movies. I would consider that one for me. With a combination of the absurdity of the sky falling in hexagons and the world collapsing, and also the movie being so incredibly ugly. Even like upon release, I thought the movie looked bad.
Yeah, Villainous when he was like 4 years old. Wait, when did that movie come out?
Like 2000, probably around when you were guessing.
Oh, Vilnius has been a stark movie critic since the beginning.
It's just a really bad looking movie.
It is. That is fever dream. Yes. That. Why is there a little chicken?
uh,
You know. You know, like why they gotta do that to me.
why?
They don't. That's the answer. You know.
They don't make so many anthropomorphic animal movies anymore. Like the most recent one was Zootopia.
Dude, I love.
Yeah, I like that one a lot as well. But like in the past, what was it? Well, I guess these aren't all anthropomorphic animal movies, but Disney's staple was all animal movies. Lady and the Tramp, Aristocats, 101 Dalmatians, Robin Hood.
Have you watched Aristocats?
Yeah, man.
Is it good?
That movie is good. Besides, I guess there's some occasional stereotyping. Actually, I'm kind of wrong there. There's a lot of stereotyping, would probably be the best way to put it. But that movie, they have the song about how everybody wants to be a cat.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah, yeah.
song is like, it's one of my favorites. Certainly the catchiest, I would say.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. What?
What's your favorite Disney song?
It's got to be the one from Pocahontas. Oh my God, Paint with All the Colors of the Wind. I like that song a lot.
Yeah? I don't remember that song.
That used to be that was my favorite movie song when I was little. But then again, like it wasn't like now where you've got like these, powerhouse. I mean, listen, like the two Frozen movies, I would venture to say that they have had two of the most notable Disney songs in recent memory. Like Into the Unknown and Let It Go.
Those are some of their bigger songs from recent memory, yeah. They've kind of drifted away from doing, their staple Disney princess musical movies.
Which I think is a good thing in some sense.
Yeah. Here, what's another good musical one that I like? Aladdin. Aladdin has good ones. Aladdin has has a bunch of good songs as well.
I have not watched Aladdin.
Tangled had some good ones.
Oh, Mother Knows Best. Oh, I don't like that song. Mother Knows Best. Oh,
From which?
I do not like that song from Tangled.
Oh, I don't remember any of the names from it. I just remember liking the songs.
My sister watched the hell out of that movie, and I just never
Yeah?
understood it. Oh my God, that was like her movie.
I watched it once.
I think she's watched it 6 times. She was saying.
Wow.
Or no, wait, no. She said actually. I think she may have said in the teens.
That's a good bit for Tangled. The best version of the Rapunzel story is the short Rapunzel bit from Peabody and Sherman. Or not Peabody and Sherman. I don't even remember what it's from, but it's from this DVD I used to have. It was a box set that contained like blocks of television where shows like Rocky and Bullwinkle, Peabody and Sherman used to run.
Oh, okay.
And they would occasionally include shorts of like classic fairy tales, and that one is by far the best. That version of Rapunzel, just through presentation and voice acting, because the story's it's basically the same, but the art is very wonderful, very charming, and I like the cheesy voice acting. Speaking of cheesy stuff,
What's cheesy?
You watch Bolt, Jay?
I have watched Bone. You don't? You think that's cheesy?
It's very cheesy, but
It's not that cheesy.
I love that movie. That's another
like
one
that
I've
movie a
probably
lot.
seen at least 10 times.
Yes,
I love that movie.
that's one of
so
my favorite
good.
movies. I have a funny story about that one actually.
Yeah?
So I have a dog named Bolt, like not an actual dog, like a stuffed dog that I've had for like a long time. And so
Oh.
for one of my sister's birthdays, she also got like a big stuffed dog, like one of those brown ones from IKEA. You
Mhm.
know what I'm talking about, like the light brown ones from IKEA.
Yes.
And so I decided to take it into my hands to name it. Right, and I loved.
You named it Bolt?
No, no, no. My dog was already named Ball. I
Okay, go.
guess I had like an admiration of Penny from that movie, and so
Mm.
what I did was I said to her, "Well, you should name her Penny." Wait, actually, but that would be like copying the movie, and so we now have a big stuffed dog named Quarter. That is.
That was not the turn I was expecting. That is great.
that was that was, I think, I don't know when that was. That must have been like her second birthday or something. I don't know. Uh
Oh my god. Quarter. Oh my god. That is awesome.
yeah, so you've probably
Oh,
seen her in my house, the doggo.
probably if it's yeah.
Well, it's in my sister's room, but I think it's been in my room before. So
I got I have that giant stuffed animal or not stuffed animal. I have that giant balloon of Scooby Doo that you gave me sitting right next to me now in the basement. He's staring at me from across the room.
in his head he's singing,
Uh
"If you leave me now," that's how much he loves you. You'll take away the biggest part of me.
Thank you,
It's me,
Scoob.
Scoob.
I appreciate it all.
Scoob is legitimately the greatest thing that's ever happened to you, Illness. Admit it,
Nothing
Vince.
will ever surpass Scoob. Scoob, well, possibly true unironically. Scooby Doo is like my favorite
Oh,
franchise.
is it really? All right, yeah.
Yes.
I don't
I
know.
find that like every adaptation, well not every, there are obvious exceptions, but like the majority of Scooby Doo like movies and TV show adaptations are great. And I have yet to see Scoob because I am not willing to pay money for it. So,
But you said you didn't like, what's it called? You didn't like Mystery Incorporated, right?
that is not what I said.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't like that show.
I said maybe that it is worse than others. I think the praise for it is a bit hyperbolic when it really it isn't even that good. I've been watching some of that more recently since they put it on Netflix. More recently,
Oh,
being
it's
like
on
five
Netflix.
months ago.
Oh,
Since I had watched not that much of it back in the past when it was airing. I was always more of a classic Scooby Doo, Where Are You? And What's New Scooby Doo guy. Uh, Also, what's the one? I forget. There was another series of it I was really into. Uh,
uh,
and also a pup named Scooby Doo. 13 Ghosts I also liked. Was never into the Scrappy Doo ones, but I watched a lot of the Scrappy Doo
Scrappy Doo is
ones.
weird, dude.
Scrappy Doo is horrible. Scrappy Doo is terrible.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
I've seen a lot of the movies. What's your favorite Scooby Doo movie, Jay?
I have watched like two.
Oh,
Uh, I watched the one with the ghost.
wow,
Um,
very specific.
the one with the ghost in the high school, like at the dance or whatever.
I don't think I've actually watched that one. There's
Yeah,
so many of them. I don't know if anyone's watched them all, bro.
yeah. And then I watched the one that's like at a resort, like, and there's all like these monster thing. I don't know what it was.
Oh yes, I have seen that one as well. I remember what you were speaking
I
of.
do not like the
Uh,
Scooby Doo live action movies at all. Like I just ugh.
I would have to agree. I don't think they're very successful because they try to capture what it feels like to watch Scooby Doo, and
It
they
just
fail
doesn't.
horrendously.
I mean, you can't do that though. That's not how that works.
Exactly, yeah. For every moment it gets right, there's like five more that it gets wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Those movies never sit right with me. Like I haven't watched them in a long time, but like I don't know, dude. Like Scooby Doo just doesn't. There's something about animated Scooby Doo that just feels right about the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a weird show that it should be animated. You know. Now I do like
Mm-hmm.
some of the animated Scooby Doo movies, or like the one I've watched is the one with the Falcon in it, or whatever the superhero with the car is and the dog.
Superhero car?
So it's like this superhero guy, and he's got like a dog. Uh, it was
I do not know what you speak of.
I have a feeling that I think it's also the premise of the new movie. Isn't the new movie about like? Isn't the new movie about like a superhero? There's like a superhero involved.
Perhaps. There may be. I have refused to look into that movie at all because I assume it will hurt me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that's. I don't know.
Yeah, I do not know what you speak of. The closest thing I can think of is the Kiss crossover movie, like Kiss the Band,
Oh
where
yes, I did watch that.
Kiss are like a gang of superheroes also, like, and they fight monsters in different dimensions, and then the Scooby Gang, all they get they become like interdimensional superheroes for a little bit. That movie was very strange.
Now speaking of
Uh,
interdimensional, I gotta say, I think the one issue with Mystery Dungeon is that it all became or not Mystery Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated is it all became a fever dream at the end. Like
I never
so
actually finished it. I
so
never got to the
weird,
conclusion of the guy giving the cards out and stuff. Don't
dude.
spoil it. Someday I will finish it. Some
I
point.
I last watched it in 2016, so you don't have to worry about me. No, but like I just some of the monsters in the last episodes, I think they go to like another dimension.
Yeah.
Like it becomes like that. Like it's like a weird show all of a sudden. And obviously that didn't really break away from my enjoyment of it. I still really enjoy that series. But I do think it went a little far. You know?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
And
There are some movies and some series of it that seem to go a bit far. Like they got the 13 Ghosts is one
what
where
is that about? You
they
mentioned
have
that
to hunt.
before.
Okay, it's about so there is a chest, right? And the chest is filled with 13 ghosts. Real ghosts. They're not people in costumes. They just canonize ghosts in this show. Uh, the ghosts escape the box. And so it's the Scooby Gang, or actually, it might just be Scooby Doo, Daphne, and Shaggy, and also like this random kid that they just pick up. And Scrappy Doo is there too. And they have to go and hunt down and capture these ghosts. And they are led by, I forget his name, but he's this like famous 80s guy who used to pretend to be a vampire on television and do magic tricks.
Uh
And he's just in the show for some reason.
huh.
that that show is very strange. But I don't even mind like the making them real thing because my favorite Scooby Doo movie, this kind of the generic answer, is Zombie Island.
Oh, that's the one I watched. Zombie Island, yeah.
That's a good one where with like the cat people and stuff and the zombies and all that, and
Yeah,
they have the voodoo dolls
dude,
and
I really
that
just don't
movie's
like.
great.
I really just don't like the Scooby Doo live action stuff. It just bothers me. I don't think.
That one's not live action.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of another one. There was another one where they were on at a resort and it was live action.
That's not what What Zombie Island isn't at a resort.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought that was
I
what it
thought you were
was.
talking about when you said the resort, the one where it's in Hawaii.
Um,
I have no idea what you're on about anymore.
what do you mean? Well, let me look.
While you look, my other favorite Scooby Doo movie is not as good as that one, but I've seen it way more. Is the one with the Yeti, uh, which I used to own. I've owned several Scooby Doo movies, and that one I watched the most. I've probably seen that one 15 times, I would want to say. I would watch that regularly. Back when I was a very small kid, or I guess not necessarily very small, I would like, if I got a new movie, I would just watch it multiple times in one day. I would just rewatch it.
Yeah.
Like when I first got Totoro, I watched that movie 3 times in the first day.
All right. So the movie I watched, I think the Curse of the Speed Demon, which is like a WWE movie. Um,
Oh, I
Ma-
I also watched the crossover with
it was
WWE.
Mask of
Yes.
the Blue Falcon, is the superhero one, and then I watched
Ah,
Scooby Doo the movie, which is the one in the high school gym with the ghost. That's all I remember about it.
I did not watch that one.
Oh, is that what it is? No. I don't know what the other one is. It was a live action movie. Um,
I don't know what you're talking about either. I only watched one of them, and I don't remember which.
yeah, I don't know, man. Live actions were all weird. I don't like any of them. It was. I have no idea, dude. I have absolutely no clue. No clue what movie this was.
Oh,
Weird.
bruh. We will never know.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. I guess it's impossible to know. Um,
Yeah.
but
We have
anyway,
gone quite far away from Disney now.
we have gone quite far away from Disney, but
Speaking
I
of
think it's been good.
dog movies,
Yeah,
you ever watched Lady and the Tramp? I assume you have.
I did watch Lady and the Tramp. Yes, it was meh.
That's good.
It was whatever.
Really? I love that movie.
It's also been a long time, so maybe I don't remember correctly. But
They did make a live action remake of it though for Disney Plus.
did they?
Well, that's something I don't like. I do not like Disney Plus.
Why's that?
I do not want to spend more money on another streaming service for them. Just why can't everything just be on a couple of them or something, right? Because the whole point of streaming was so that we would stop using cable, and now all the streaming services are just becoming cable again. So now you have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to have them all to watch anything legally.
True, that's fair. But yeah, you're right.
I guess it's not that I'm opposed to Disney Plus specifically, but like just everyone continuing to make them, like NBC's making one, etc., etc.
Yeah, listen, the NBC one is like I feel like Disney Plus almost makes sense though, because I think Disney has kept a lot of stuff from streaming services. I think that is something they have done.
That is true. I do like because now there is easier access to a bunch of older movies as well that you can't normally easily find, or you can't usually easily find. But on one hand, they could have also just given those to other people for like really cheap
They
instead of
could
just.
have, but at the same time, I think it makes sense that they didn't because it is their licensing, right? Now, to be fair, they had a couple movies, more recent ones, but like it almost didn't make sense which movies they had, you know? Like, so for example, Netflix had Thor, but only Thor Ragnarok. And they had Star Wars, but
Yeah.
only The Last Jedi. Like, it was like this weird licensing thing that I didn't quite understand.
Yeah. It's like how Netflix only had Mulan 2.
Yeah, like, why Mulan 2? Has anybody ever watched that movie?
Yeah, that is a question that is very important. When did this movie happen? I discovered it yesterday.
Mulan
What even
2?
happens in it?
Mulan
Yeah.
2 is probably one of those straight to TV. So they had a lot of straight to DVD movies.
Yeah.
So there were actually sequels to almost all of like the 90s animated princess films. There is a Little Mermaid 2. I believe there's a Lion King 2.
I have seen The Little Mermaid 2, and I've seen The Lion King 2. Little Mermaid 2 is not great. Lion King 2 is alright.
Yeah, Jungle Book 2. There's a Jungle Book 2.
Did not know about that.
Yeah. Apparently that movie's from like the 50s though, I think. So that's an old one. But still, right? It's like
Jungle Book, I don't think it's 50s. Maybe 60s,
maybe
but not
60s, yeah.
50s.
I can't remember exactly, but I know it's old.
Bambi is 40s.
Well, there were only like two.
Hit the whip.
Hit the. Yeah, Bambi and Snow White are. Or no. Yeah, Bambi's 40s. Snow White was the 30s.
Yeah, Snow White's even older, which is crazy.
Snow White was the first Disney movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean, I feel like the one thing is that I've heard the story a million times, so at this point I'm kind of over it, but yeah.
That is true.
I think it is a good movie as movies go, as that goes, but. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, Vilnius, got anything else about the Disney movies?
I feel like we've reached the end, so I'm just gonna drop some random other things that I have here on my list of movies. Uh, Meet the
Yeah, hit me.
Robinsons,
Ah,
terrible
yes.
movie.
I also
Uh,
think that is a bad movie.
Recess, School's Out, terrible movie. Uh, Let me see. Is that all I had on my list that I didn't mention? Oh, Tarzan, good movie. Uh, Brave, okay movie. Uh, Lilo and Stitch, good movie. Emperor's New Groove, good movie. Monsters vs. Aliens,
That's a
strange
Disney
movie.
movie?
I believe
No,
Disney
that's not
owns
a
the rights
no,
to it.
that's not a Disney movie.
Okay. Forget I said that. Hercules, good movie. And yeah, that's all I have written down. Uh, yeah, you got any closing
Tomorrowland.
things?
Ugh. So I feel like
Hmm.
Tomorrowland looked like a cool movie, but in the end was just like, what is this? I went to go see that for my birthday.
I did not watch that one.
Yeah, don't. You'll probably
Oh,
be fine. It was kind of.
disappointing birthday movie. Very sad.
It's not like fantastic.
Oh,
I was kind of hoping it would be better than it was. This was a long time ago. This was like,
many moons ago.
it was probably before we were even friends that I watched that movie.
Man, I don't know if that time exists. Everything. What's that theory that everything before yesterday didn't exist?
Uh, Delusion.
No, it's like a real thing. Like the universe was just created type of meme.
It's a meme, or
It's not a
you just.
meme. Well, a meme is just a concept that is spread amongst a bunch of people. So technically, it is a
That's
meme, but
true.
it is not a meme in the conventional usage of the word.
Well, Scientology is also a meme, but
Yeah, this is
but yeah.
possibly our longest recording session yet. I feel like it's mostly my fault I dragged this out. I kept asking you about movies.
No, but that was good. I can appreciate that. Oh, how is my computer dying? It's
Oh
supposed to have a
no.
10-hour battery life, and it was at 70. Well, I have 15 minutes left, plenty of time. But like,
Yeah,
you know,
still
um,
disappointing. Disappointing. Uh,
well, I'll have a new laptop soon, so
oh yeah, new laptop will be epic. Uh,
yes, it'll be good. Oh, we forgot to do our song of the week. We need to do
Oh
that
yes, we were going to start doing a thing each episode, where we recommend a song of the week. That just being a
rather
song
than
we've
just
been,
saying it's a song of the week every time.
yes, just a song that
No.
we've been listening to this week, and has left a good impression on us recently.
Yes. Vilnius, you want to hit us?
Uh, I'll go. Yes, the Mariner's Revenge song by the Decemberists is my song pick for this week. Uh,
Why do you like it? When'd you find it?
Oh, this song, I probably found this like a decade ago on a CD my parents had in the car. It's an 8-minute song. It tells the
Oof.
story. It's a revenge story about this guy whose dad left him, and you know, his mom died, and everything went poorly for him. And then he goes
Always fun.
out seeking revenge, and he's finds his father. They're going out, and he's gonna kill him out on this boat on a lake. But then they get eaten by a whale, and then they fight the whale. It's a very interesting song, very good sounding too. It's very 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 great song. Uh, I'm just
Yeah,
going
there
quick
you go.
with mine. What's yours, Jay?
My song of the week is "Me and My Broken Heart" by Rixton, which is like one of those early to mid 2010s pop songs. It's kind of like
Hmm.
it's like I think they were kind of like a boy band ish. Um,
Boy
I don't
bands
know.
can
I
be
just found
good.
it again. I just found it again this week. What I've been doing is an advisory since it's our advisory is a Google Meet, not a Zoom. I'll be an
I don't
advisory and
know
I'll be
why we
quiet.
even have advisory. It's so pointless.
But it's kind of nice to see everybody. At least for me, I enjoy seeing other people.
I mean,
Um,
in my advisory, no one speaks and half the class has their cameras turned off. So,
oh, well, you got yeah. I mean, but your advisor lets that happen. But anyway,
yes.
I like to turn some I turned like my YouTube video player volume down, and I just kind of like I was listening to, I think, Stereo Hearts. Do you know that song? That was a very famous song back in like 2011.
I
The one that's
probably
like my
do.
if you listen to it, you know it.
Most 2010s pop songs, I do not remember the name of, but I do recognize.
But you will recognize it.
Yes.
It's same thing with me. Like I just forget about them, and I'm like, oh my god, I've
Yeah,
listened
they
to
hit
this
you
so
and
many
it's
times on the radio. I've listened to this an unnecessary amount of times on the radio. But yeah. So me and my
ungodly
broken heart by
amount.
Rixton. Listen to that one. I used to like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right then, guys.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you actually enjoyed this. And if you're listening on Spotify, please follow us. Thank you for
Yes, we
listening.
really appreciate that.
If you really want to get into our content, you can watch the Fossil Fighter Champions playthrough series.
Hell yeah. We never
but-
posted, but maybe we will.
We should make one soon. It's been over a month now. The
As
first
is
few
customary.
we put out really quickly, and now it's just been forever between the episodes.
Yeah. I think you guys are gonna. Well, I think we may or may not have some opportunity to play some other games as well very soon.
Yes.
So look forward to that. Some other more popular games, perhaps on Steam and stuff. We'll see. No
Yes.
promises, but I think that'll be fun if we're able to. And yeah, thanks for
The future is exciting for this show.
The future is now. Oh,
well, it won't be for them. This is recorded. How many days before this goes out? This is 4 days before it goes out. So
4 days, 3 days.
Definitely Sunday, right? Not the future.
The future is tomorrow. The future is tomorrow.
Yeah, that's well. Yeah.
Anyhow, right, we should go before my laptop.
Goodbye.
Peace out, guys.
Bye.
Bye. What's a podcast? Illness. Do tell.
Podcast standing for Principal Orange Dictatorship, Chinese, Alabama corn taco.
Store. Toast. Corn toast. Where did you get the CT at the end? I think it's an ST. I don't think it's a podcact.
Oh, wait.